I've had the opportunity to play with a 14-foot Hobie Catamaran, so here's a good chance to do a comparison with the Hobie Adventure Island. I know it's a subject that a lot of people are interested in and ask about. First we took the Hobie Cat out to work out how to sail it. Rigging and setup is definitely a two-person job, and it's time consuming. The trampolines are high out of the water and very comfortable. The Cat is trickier to launch because the only option for propelling it is the sail.
There we go. We're moving, look at that. Woo! I've got a GPS here, I can work out what speed we're doing. We're doing 10 k's.
The Cat's main halyard snapped. Luckily I caught it before the main sail dropped. The mainsail on the Catamaran is much larger than the sail on the Hobie Island, which means it can move faster for the same amount of wind. It also has a narrower hull profile, which further increases that advantage.
So there's a sandbar in front of us. I don't think there's any escaping it now. It extends all the way across. Let's just hope we go over it.
The Cat doesn't have a keel, and it can sail even over very shallow sandbars.
Still moving. Bottom dragon. We're through. Gee, she handles the shallow good.
I jumped on the tiller to have a bit of a play. The island and the Cat are both easy to sail single-handed. The Cat's got a single main, and the controls are relatively simple.
We have a jibe. So I've locked the rudders down in a vertical position, and much lighter to control, much easier. Yeah, they lock down. They've got those little locks there, and you lift them up. Pick them up. So now we're much easier to control. 13 kilometers an hour.
I jumped in my Hobie, and Bill decided to take the Cat out with Mum as a passenger. Running upwind in moderate conditions, I really struggled to keep up with the Cat. It could sail closer to the wind, and it was quicker. Even combining with pedalling, I could pretty well match speed with it, but of course I'd run out of puff fairly quickly.
You've got my wind! See how good my pedalling is. So you can sail a bit closer into the wind than I can.
The Cat's low weight and huge sail makes it really bad at tacking. When it turns through the wind, it can be easily stopped in its tracks. Then the sail acts like a wind vane and simply holds the Cat into the wind, causing it to end up going backwards. At this point, the Cat is dead in the water. The Adventure Island doesn't have this problem because of the pedal drive. When you go through the tack, if you start losing momentum, you just hit the pedals and that'll bring it round every time.
I'm gonna give you a little push here.
The answer to this problem is to jibe the Cat. So instead of moving through the wind, you actually turn around in the opposite direction against the wind to bring her around. You're going to lose a lot of distance in doing this process, so the Cat's good in open water, but this problem means it's going to be quite poor in narrow waterways like canals and rivers.
Now you can get back to outrunning me.
My Adventure Island has a furlable mainsail, which means the mainsail can be rolled in, so in really strong wind conditions it's still capable of sailing quite well. The Cat, on the other hand, has a mainsail that can't be reefed and it can't be furled, so I wouldn't be taking the Cat out in any kind of strong wind conditions.
Yeah, definitely a little bit quicker under sail. It's definitely quicker under sail, the Cat, and can sail closer to the wind too, but not as flexible.
Running directly downwind, the Cat was also a little bit quicker.
I go about the same speed as you do when I include pedalling.
When I did this, however, the tables turned. One of the problems the Cat has is the mainmast has stays, which limit how far you can push the mainsail out. With the Hobie Adventure Island, you can run the main sheet out to the end of the anchor, giving you a much larger sail profile, allowing you to run quicker downwind. Okay, so let's do the final comparison. The Hobie Adventure Island is ridiculously overpriced. You could probably buy a nice trailer sailor for the same, so I'll definitely be running with the Catamaran for having the better price. For storage and transport, again I'm going to run with the Adventure Island. The Cat has to be transported on a trailer and it's quite large, whereas the Adventure Island can be packed down to almost nothing and it can be roof-topped. When it comes to setting up, the Adventure Island is also the winner. It's a really quick and easy job, can be easily done by one person, while the Cat is a big job and it requires at least 2 people. I think comfort's important when you're engaging in any kind of sport for a long period of time, and in this regard the Cat is definitely the winner. With the Adventure Island you're sitting on the waterline, you get soaked in water, whereas on the Cat you've got a nice big trampoline which is well elevated and keeps you nice and dry. If I was heading out by myself and had the choice between the 2 boats, I'd take the Adventure Island. It's a lot easier to handle single-handed than the Cat. And if I was sending out someone sailing for the first time, I'd also send them out on the Adventure Island. It's just easier to handle. Of course, stability is also important on a boat, and again the Adventure Island is the winner in that regard. A main hull with 2 small outriggers has a lot more stability than twin hulls. As soon as one of the hulls on the Cat lifts out of the water, it'll flip over, and with that big sail which can't be felled, there's a high likelihood that will happen. If there was no wind, I'd definitely be taking out the island again, because you can paddle it and you can pedal it and still have a good time in 0 wind conditions, whereas the Cat simply won't move. In moderate wind conditions, I'd definitely be wanting to take the Cat out. In those moderate conditions, it's a lot faster, it sails closer to the wind, and it's a lot more fun. In strong wind conditions, with strong gusts or a lot of really strong steady wind, I'd be wanting to go out with the island. Its furlable sail will be able to handle it, whereas the Cat will just be thrown over. If I was heading out in a sailing race and I had the choice between the 2 boats, I'd take the Cat. It's faster, it's definitely faster. For sailing in shallow conditions, I'd also go for the Cat. Definitely what I'd want to be taking out in really shallow lakes and when I'm going over sandbars. For crossing obstacles such as dams, dry sandbars, or any other kind of obstacle that you're going to find on your journey, I'd take the Adventure Island. The Adventure Island can be fitted with wheels, it can be walked over almost anything, whereas the Cat, it would be a pain. I always consider the amount of exercise I'm going to get when I'm out doing any kind of sport, and in this regard I definitely run with the Adventure Island for a good workout. You can use the pedal drive even when you're sailing to get some extra speed, and there's also the paddle system as well, so there's a lot of options for a lot of cross training. For taking passengers out sailing, I'd probably run with the Cat. It's just more comfortable, the trampoline's bigger. So in conclusion, the Cat is a better sailing boat, but there's a lot of things the Adventure Island can do that the Cat can't do. The Adventure Island can be stripped down and it can be used as a kayak. It's far more versatile. So if I was going out for a race or just going out for a little bit of fun, probably run with the Cat. If I was going to go and have some really serious adventure sailing, then I'd be running with the Hobie Adventure Island. It can handle a lot of different conditions which the Cat is simply not going to cope with.